Wow, 500 subscribers already. That Null video literally more than doubled my subscriber count. Before that, my most popular video had 4,000 views and gained me 45 subscribers. My Null video has over 40,000 views and has gained me a whopping 301 subscribers as of the time of me recording this. I cannot thank you guys enough for this. I didn't really think I'd get anywhere close to this big a following, and in only 10 months no less. Thank you so much. And to celebrate 500 subscribers, I wanted to share my top 5 favorite Zelda games with you all. And at the end, I want to personally thank every subscriber that either you or YouTube has notified me of that I haven't already. So with all that out of the way, I'm Mr. Z, and this is Zelda Discussions. Let's get into it. My fifth favorite Zelda game has to be Echoes of Wisdom. This game has so much going for it. It's an awesome story that introduces Null, Null, as the reason behind Hyrule's existence, completely changing our understanding of the Zelda series as a whole. And I know I've talked about Null a lot, but sue me, he's an awesome addition to the Zelda series. And story aside, this game takes the best parts of classic and open world Zelda and marries them together to create a nearly perfect Zelda game. Puzzles can be solved in a few different ways, but eliminates the ability to completely cheat them. It also offers a linear story with sections that allow you to choose what dungeons to do, which is a very nice blend of the two formulas. Not to mention its return to the classic style of dungeon design with keys, mini-bosses, and dungeon items. Fighting monsters is very fun and strategic, offering multiple ways to take on the same monster problem via using your sword that runs on a magic meter, or the various monsters to summon, making no two players' experiences the same. This game has a great story that completely reconstructed my understanding of Zelda lore as a whole, as well as took the things I loved about old and new Zelda and combined them into a game that rivals many others in the series, earning it the number 5 spot on my list. Coming in at number 4 is Skyward Sword. This game definitely deserves a spot in everyone's at least top 10. It's got all the makings of a great Zelda game. The dungeons all have very interesting, unique mechanics like rolling in lava on a giant stone ball, or changing the layout of the entire structure. The combat involves using precise directional sword slashes to defeat monsters, making each enemy its own puzzle when fighting them. And its soundtrack has such a wide range of emotional, atmospheric, and exciting songs that can really fit whatever mood you happen to be in. But where this game truly shines is in its story. As well as giving us a firm foundation for where the Zelda timeline begins, as well as the reason why Ganon comes back all the time, Skyward Sword takes the usual save the princess dynamic Link and Zelda typically share, and makes it personal. Link isn't just saving some princess because it's what a hero does, he's saving someone he truly cares about. But Link then learns that Zelda is the goddess Hylia reborn as a mortal, where she then tells Link that she knew her danger would drive him to do anything to save her. Link's whole journey was a premeditated con by the goddess to manipulate him into bringing about the end of the Demon King demise. And this adds such a deeply emotional tone to the whole game. Link and Zelda are in love with each other, but are part of a destiny that's greater than they are, preventing them from living a happy, carefree life together. You can feel how heartbroken the two of them are in this game, and that makes the story feel so much more real than most others in the series. Skyward Sword's story is by far one of the most emotional in the entire Zelda franchise, and really shows the amount of care that went into it. It truly has earned its rightful place as my 4th favorite Zelda game. Next up is Twilight Princess. This game is just plain awesome. After people were pissed about Wind Waker's cartoony art style, Nintendo went hard in the opposite direction to make a game with more realistic graphics and a darker, grittier story. For context, this is the only mainline Zelda game that's rated teen. In addition to it being cool, the story is also very well written. Link goes from living a peaceful farm life to having the title and responsibility of hero thrust upon him, having to save the entire nation of Hyrule when he originally only intended to save his town's kidnapped children. It's a responsibility that Link simply has to take on, else Hyrule is doomed. The kidnapped children, the threat of all of Hyrule's citizens wandering fearfully forever as spirits, and it all being dependent on Link makes for a story where you feel the magnitude of what's at stake. All the while, Link's companion Midna originally uses Link's selflessness and duty to Hyrule to get back at the game's antagonist, Zant. However, she goes through an entire character arc to grow from wanting what's best for herself and her people with no regards to Hyrule, to truly wanting what's best for everyone. It really adds a sense of realism to Midna's character that not many other Zelda games have really tried before. And I haven't even talked about the dungeons of this game. Even just the first one takes over an hour to complete, and each consecutive dungeon has its own intricacy and uses for their respective dungeon items. Not to mention there's 9 of these bad boys. The Forest Temple is a structure built into the husk of a massive tree, and Snow Peak Ruins is a huge abandoned mansion in an isolated snowy mountain. This game has by far one of the best lineups of dungeons in this series in my opinion. Twilight Princess also has one of the best combat systems in all of Zelda, with the hidden skills that Link learns throughout the game's progression, each one giving the player one more option to pwn your next monster with. This game has a very fun gameplay experience and an engaging story with well-written character development, earning its spot as my 3rd favorite Zelda game. Number 2 on my list is Ocarina of Time. This is the game that got me into the Zelda series in the first place. I would watch my dad play this as a little kid, and finally being able to play it was such a magical feeling. I played this game non-stop over and over as a kid, so this game truly has a special place in my heart. But nostalgia aside, this game really is one of the best in the series. Despite it being the very first Zelda game to be set in a 3D environment, it hits the mark on pretty much everything. Its dungeons have awesome, mysterious atmosphere, as well as intricate puzzles that really make you think, which is a standard that many future games have taken example from. It has music that effectively sets the tone for every area you walk into. It introduced the Z-targeting mechanic that's been a series staple in the 3D games, and like every other game on here, it has an awesome story. Link is raised as a Kokiri, the children of the forest. But unlike the rest of the Kokiri, Link does not have a fairy companion. After finally receiving one, however, Link is then thrust into a journey to obtain the 3 spiritual stones to pull the Master Sword, allowing him to vanquish Ganondorf, who seeks to rule over Hyrule. After obtaining the stones and pulling the Master Sword, Link's spirit is then sealed in the Sacred Realm for 7 years. Here he is told by the sage Rauru that he was too young to wield the sword and had to be sealed until he came of age, and now has to awaken the other 5 sages to stop Ganondorf after he took over Hyrule. This game's story isn't explicitly deep and heavy like some of the others. You really feel the weight of the story by sitting with it and thinking about it. Link would have had his entire reality shattered when he learned that he was lied to and is actually a Hylian and not an immortal Kokiri. Not to mention his entire childhood was ripped away from him and forced into the body and responsibilities of an adult hero. The story is deep, depressing, and tragic. I love that this game isn't explicit with its deeper themes, because it allows anyone to enjoy the game, but people with more developed and analytical minds can find the underlying themes of sadness and despair. This game truly is a fantastic entry to the Zelda series, earning its rightful spot as my second favorite game. My favorite Zelda game has to be Majora's Mask. This is 100% the best game in the series in my opinion. Its central mechanics of the Deku, Goron, and Zora masks that let you use the abilities of those races, as well as the 3-day counter which limits how long you can take doing the dungeons and side quests, make this game one of the most fun and unique in the series. Its dungeon design is also fantastic too. Sure, there's only 4, but when they're this good, it's hard to want more. Woodfall is a whole forest shrine built into a swamp. Snowhead is an ice temple with a large central pillar that you need to raise and lower in order to progress to the upper levels of the dungeon. Great Bay is a massive water purification plant that has you changing the direction the water spins to access other sections of the temple. And Stone Tower is a massive structure that you climb only for you to need to flip it upside down, allowing you to progress further. This game has some of the coolest ideas for dungeons in the series despite its small roster. But the game's story is truly what sets it as my all-time favorite. Following Ocarina Link getting sent back in time to relive his childhood, he ends up in a strange land called Termina after chasing a Skull Kid who stole the Ocarina of Time. This Skull Kid also stole the Majora's Mask from the Happy Mask salesman, granting him immense power, and Link is tasked with getting the mask back. But Termina is doomed to having its moon crash down in 3 days. Every corner of this game's world is affected differently by this reality, as well as the curses that the Skull Kid put on them. You can explicitly see and feel how each of these characters is affected, which adds a sense of realism to the game that not really any other Zelda game has managed to replicate. Adding on to the already heavy darkness of this game's story, each of the masks Link uses to transform into the different races is created when Link heals a dead person's troubled spirit. The masks he uses are the remains of these deceased characters. And this story is all the more sad when you learn that the Skull Kid's motives were his crippling loneliness after his friends, the guardian deities of Termina, left him to protect the land. Skull Kid was never evil, just immensely depressed. This game doesn't hold back with its more mature themes and concepts, creating an incredibly dark story that truly resonates with you. This game not only plays into the part of me that loves a dark, unsettling story, but really achieved a level of realism that allows anyone to empathize with the world. This game is truly a marvel of the Zelda series and is by far my favorite game within it. Thanks for watching this video, and thank you all for your continued support. I would not have gotten this far without it. Special thank you to all my public subscribers: Pikachu Lover, Jackson Eats, Bomber, Yosha, Daniel LaCroix, Video Lover, Zeldian Gamer, Eric, Little Soul Gaming, Alum Jackson, Hagen Thomas, Warrior Cats Fan, Cybernetic, Zonai I, Devin Indy, Garrett Hoffman, Dark Lord Yanni, Maisie Montana, You Are Link, Ikura Sona, Majoran, Katie Cross, Rogan Plays Anime Games, Solid Me Boy, Chris Cordwin, 40 Beats 9, Joey Strife, Marshall Wilcox, Wolfgang DS, Helder Vinicius, Nelly, Rick Aruda, Garth Warpath, Telecoustic, Wendy Chan, TOTK Zelda, Cypher, Dylan Valdez, Jasper Squar, and Diamond Con. And thank you to the rest of you guys too. Without any of you, I'd just be a dude talking into the void. I wouldn't be anywhere without your support, and I hope you all can understand how grateful I am for that. You are all appreciated and loved. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.